Alright, so the Dreamline Essence. This thing is available at Home Depot. You can order it, they'll ship it to the store, you can have it shipped to home. My model is the one with the tall shower doors, double sliding doors, and as soon as you get it, you open the package right here. This product must be installed by a professional and experienced installer. So I'm going to try it out. I have never done this before, but I figured if someone else can do it, you know, an installer is just like me. They have 2 hands, hopefully 10 fingers, and let's try and see how difficult this is. So right off the bat, it takes you through, it's got all the parts here, and across the page on this side, how many of each you should have. And this is important because there's going to be a lot of things that may look similar, but there's going to be differences to them. One nice thing that this company is doing, they do have stickers on their parts. So like over here I have the little baggies, they're all separated. You can see they have stickers on them for part numbers and such. And I've got mine separated out, so, and I've verified that I have the quantities they've asked for. And going through the instructions, the first thing that we need to do is figure out the exact opening of our shower. So it asks you to measure the width across the top, and it asks you to measure the width across the bottom. Now it's very important to note that this unit, this set of doors, can only accommodate out a 1/4 inch out of plumb condition. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be measuring across the top. So from one corner to the other, mine measures 58.5 across the top, and across the bottom, same thing, 58.5. Now that you have W1, W2, of course yours is going to be different. Mine was 58.5 and 58.5, so my shower walls were actually plumb, and they are level, so I'm good there. If your shower walls are further than a 1/4 inch apart, let's say 58.5 on the top, but 58 on the bottom, or 59 on the bottom, then you're probably going to end up with a gap on your shower doors. And before you get any further, before you throw your cardboard away, you might want to package this up again and either call their customer service and find out if there's any way to increase this, or send it back and pick out a door that's going to be accommodating your needs. So right here, first step, or second step I guess, it's telling you that for the upper guide, you're going to cut off whatever your dimension is and a 1/4 inch. So for me, up at the top, I measured 58.5, and then I subtract a 1/4 inch. So my top rail is going to be cut at 58.25, and the bottom is going to be cut at 58.5 minus a 1/16, so that's 7/16. So 58 and 7/16 across the bottom. It's got a picture here of someone using a hacksaw. I suppose that would be the cleanest cut. If you use a Sawzall, you're gonna scuff your polish. If you use a cutoff wheel or angle grinder, you're going to have to be really careful that you don't skip and then jump and hit your finished bar there. If you're going to be installing this set of doors, if this model requires 2 3/4 inch minimum of a flat threshold, what it's referring to is the threshold at the bottom of your shower. Mine is actually 3 inches wide, so I have enough space. The next thing, after you verify that it is wide enough, that's because you're going to be putting these door guides on here. This fits over the rail, and you need to have at least 2 3/4 so your door has support when it's sliding. The bottom rail is fixed to the bottom threshold. There's no actual distance used here. There's not a specific distance that it calls out in the manual, but what I did was I wanted to make sure that my bracket was supported, so I went the distance of this the bottom channel guide. And you're going to put 3 in the bottom. One goes down on the far end, one in the center, and then one in the back, this on the left. When you're setting that bottom channel, it's very important that you set it parallel with the threshold. Your threshold on your shower is going to be flat, and you're going to want to make this as straight as possible because that's what your guides are going to be set to. If you have a curve in this, or if it's at an angle, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and you could risk shattering your doors because of the stress put on them. So I didn't measure out across the bottom where it's supposed to be, but I did save the end that I cut off of this channel, the guide here, and it made kind of a nice guide. I'm able to use it, and it's about a little over 1/4 inch, and it sits. What I did was I used it to set a gap evenly all across the threshold, all the way from one end to the other, and so that way I can ensure that this guide is parallel and it's in a straight line, and I don't risk misalignment in my doors. So that's very important. When you're setting that bottom channel, what you're going to be doing is adding some silicone. I did ultra clear silicone. I suppose you could do a white caulk. The important part is that you get the bottom of it filled. There's a channel that runs the entire length. Let me see if I have that piece here. So you can see there's a channel in it. This is the little piece that I cut off. But the whole channel, you're going to fill it with caulk. Then when you set it down, you want to make sure that you got that evenly spaced threshold. Once you do that, you're supposed to tape it down so it doesn't move while you're working on the rest of the door. And you apply silicone to the back side of the door guide here. And that's all in the instructions. The instructions seem to be pretty straightforward. There it is. So far so good. In the next step, we're going to be installing the guides for the doors themselves. In the instructions here, it tells you need to leave an 1/8 inch gap between the wall and the guide block. You will also need to space this out at 1 inch in the 1/16, 27 millimeters, from the outside of the bottom rail. So that means from the lip of that bottom piece we just installed. These are 1/8 of an inch wide, so it's telling you right here to use a guide block to create that 1/8 inch gap. So you put this up against the wall, like so. Then you bring in the other one, the one that you're going to drill. And now you can either measure 1 inch and a 1/16, or in my case I prefer just using millimeters because that'll make it easier. With these calipers here, we'll set it out to 27. Let's see, yeah, we'll go 27 exactly. I already pre-installed mine, pre-drilled mine. But once you get to 27, you're going to be measuring. You're going to be measuring from the outside here to the edge of that guide block. So once you hit 27, then you can mark the center of it. You're going to mark the center right in here, and then you drill a hole right in the middle there. So that's an 1/8 inch. Then that edge is corresponding to 27. You're going to be doing the same thing on the other side. Put up the spacer, the guide block, and then 27 out. Then for the center one, you measure from the wall. It's from wall to wall. Mine's 58.5. So right here in the center somewhere. I haven't measured yet. At 29.25 for mine. We're going to measure it, and then 27 millimeters again, and then drill a hole. Alright, so I've measured it out. I've centered it up. It's important to note that I'm making an 1/8 inch hole here. It tells you to use an 1/8 inch bit if you're going to be using on a threshold that is fiberglass acrylic. But use the wall anchors in a 5/16 inch hole if you're going to be doing tile.
Yes, a tile.
A tile, yeah.
Yeah.
So here, you want to make sure you're using the the rounded head screws,
Yes.
and they're identified by number in the bag. But now that the hole's ready, we're going to be putting some silicone on the bottom of the guide blocks. I personally am going to be putting silicone in the hole,
Yes.
although there should never be any water here. I just figured, a little extra protection ain't going to hurt it. So I'm going to put some silicone in all the 3 holes. Then we're going to be putting silicone.
Right there. Daddy, that's right there.
We're going to be putting silicone on the bottom of these. After these are on, we're going to put silicone on the bottom of these door guides. So right here, that's going to hit over the lip here, and it's going to land right over that guide block. So we need to put silicone along this edge here and along this edge here. Okay, so we got some silicone on the block. I'm installing the guide blocks here at the edges. And the next step is to install the wall profiles. Now it's really important to make sure that you're not mixing up your parts in your bags, because the wall profiles look exactly like the bottom guide, the bottom rail. At first I thought I accidentally cut a wall profile, but luckily I did have them separated. These two, actually all 3 of them have a channel, and that's where you fill the silicone in. And it's really easy to get them mixed up. So they come in numbered bags, keep them separate. Don't cut the long ones. The long ones are for your walls. When you do fill the channel, what you're going to do is you're going to butt it up against the wall, and it's got to go flush right with the outside edge of that door guide. And where's my level? You want to make sure that they're level, because this is where the door is going to slide into, and with gravity the door will hang straight down. So you want to get these as level as you can, and all the way from top to bottom. Once this sets up, I'm going to put a little extra silicone along the edge, and then we're going to install the water lip. There's a plastic lip that tapes to this edge here, and it'll help keep the water inside. But for now, I just got to let that set up. Okay, so my silicone here is cured, and the next step is to install these top brackets for the top rail. A 5/16 hole on each one of these, and then you set one of the plastic anchors. Let me grab one of those. Under here, you're going to install the plastic anchors, and you want to use a plastic anchor because it's going to help reinforce against your drywall, also through your tile or your acrylic tub. So these little plastic anchors are in there behind there. You want to make sure that you drill deep enough so that it bottoms out. The head is flared out, so it'll sit flush with your shower. Then the next thing is to make sure that you're using the countersunk screws here so they sit flush, because the next step is to put the top rail in, and then we don't drill both sides yet. What's going to happen is we're going to set the top rail in here, and then we're going to put a level across the top so that we can identify where we're going to put the holes for the wall bracket on that side. If you put a wall bracket there and a wall bracket over here without leveling it, you might be just a hair off, and that'll affect the installation. So you want to put the top rail across, and then we're going to find out exactly where that needs to be, and then drill the holes. So we're going to do that next. Okay, so we got the bracket in on this side, and then we're going to set the level across. And you want to be pretty level because, like I said, this is going to run parallel to the ground, and it's going to set the height for the doors. So you want to set it across, and then you're going to mark off on the bracket where it needs to be, and then underneath you're going to drill in your 5/16 holes, set the plastic anchors, and then put the wall mount back on. In my case, I already did that, and you see it's fairly level, so I think we're going to be okay. One thing is, don't let your drill bits walk, because that's how I ended up with a little bit off here. But luckily there's enough play that it does line up, and if you drill a pilot hole, you're probably better off there. So yeah, watch out for that walking. Okay, so the top rail is in and I've got the glass up. There's an inside and outside to this glass. The way you're going to identify it is with these stickers. This sticker's on the inside of the door. Same with the other one. The door that's on the inside is labeled number 12, and the inside door is going to have only 2 holes. The outside door has 4 holes. The reason the outside one has 4 is so you can install these keepers. When you install these top rollers, the door lifts up. So if you were to accidentally, or someone would accidentally lift on the door, it's going to fall outwards. And this is tempered glass, so it'd make a mess. Hopefully nobody would be injured. But when you install the outer door, these are actually oblonged, so you can rotate it, and it says to install them 1/16 inch away from that rail. So mine's a little bit tight. I'll dial it in. As well as the top here, these are also oblonged. There's a little hole where you can stick a 2.5 millimeter wrench, and you're going to rotate that cam. And as you rotate it, you're going to notice the door goes up and down just a little bit. The same thing on the other opposite side and on the inside. And what you're aiming for is that the door will come in and the gap on the bottom and the top is flush. You want to make sure that the gap, well, there shouldn't be a gap. Mine does, because my corner is right outside here, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. But the door's got to close flush all the way. Same thing when you come across the other side. Now, one thing that I did mess up on, it says to be a professional, but I'm an amateur, and I think I did pretty good. It feels really smooth. But if you look up here, it said to measure 71 inches and 1/8 to the bottom of the bracket. And it said to do it from the threshold. I must have shifted the tape measure or measured incorrectly or marked it incorrectly, because I ended up having to lift my rail, and I can't move this bracket anymore because I've drilled into my shower, I've drilled into my drywall, and there's actually a 2x4 stud that's behind this that runs across. I used to have a direct to stud shower. Now, it's not that big a deal to me, you know, and this is just temporary. I'm gonna go out to my garage and I'll cut a little piece of aluminum that'll fit in there really nicely. It'll look like a spacer that came with the kit. But I want to talk about setting up your measurements. It would have been a lot better if I had measured from the threshold before installing those brackets. The instructions tell you to do it after, but before I installed that, I could have measured real easily up to 71 1/8, and then an inch out from the flush of that bottom guide. This turned out pretty good. I've already attached the seal. This is in the instructions to put this slip. That's where the door comes in. There's little rubber stoppers that fit back here. That's also pretty self-explanatory. And the handles, again, pretty self-explanatory. A couple of holes. The handles face outside and inside. So other than that, this thing wasn't really that bad. 2 people would definitely help the installation, but it actually looks really nice, and it's really smooth. I'm really impressed. I really like those rollers. It's nice and quiet. Just, yeah, watch out with your measurements, because you only get one chance to drill into your walls. Don't make the same mistake I did. Be careful about it before you go ahead and do this. But yeah, it looks really nice. I really like it.